Rookie minicamp for the Minnesota Vikings has started. You are going to see the next group that's going to fill out this 53-man roster. There's going to be guys fighting for positions all weekend long. Really quick, Luke, who's a name that's going to buzz after rookie minicamp is over?
I'm going to go deep in the well. Here's my hidden gem. His name's Malik Knowles, running back, turned wide out, Kansas State. He's got 3 kickoff return touchdowns on his resume, not to mention a 75-yard rushing touchdown as well. He didn't work out at the combine or the pro day. He was dealing with a PCL injury, so he got pushed down a little bit, lost in the shuffle. But when healthy, Ron, this guy's electric with the ball in his hands. I think he's going to make some serious noise during these summer practices and really stand out next to all these smaller wideouts on the roster. JJ Addison, KJ Osborne, Jalen Naylor. You're talking about an average height of 5'11", maybe. Knowles is going to stand out in a big way, 6'2.5" on the field. Give the Vikings a big-bodied kind of alpha threat in the passing game they desperately needed. Almost 4,000 all-purpose yards in college, ranks top 5 all-time in Kansas State, scored 14 touchdowns along the way. I don't want to hype him up too much here, Ron. I mean, he's a UDFA, but I just think the way he's physically built, his running back background and vision, reminds me a little bit of Cordero Patterson type when he's carrying that ball. So if Kenny were to ever go down, I think Knowles is the next guy in line to make a little noise in that kickoff return game.
Reggie, is there a rookie that jumps out at you?
I think just because I covered him a little bit in high school and college, Ivan Pace Jr. I just think, if anything, I think he could be an excellent contributor on special teams, but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow he made his way onto the field in some type of packages for Brian Flores' defense this year.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, I was going to say Pace. I just think that he's kind of ready to contribute right away, and so is Knowles. I like that they got a couple guys in this UDFA class that could potentially contribute in 2023 and again, with the COVID year, a lot of these guys like Thayer Thomas, Ron, had 5 years or 6 years even at the college level. So they're just a little more seasoned. I'm going to go with Dwayne McBride. I think that we're going to be wowed by and we won't even see all of his best qualities in practice because his best quality is breaking tackles, right?
Yep.
And you can't do that in a practice setting. But I think we're going to walk away saying, okay, I see how KOC could use this guy. And I hope that they are able to get him comfortable in the passing game and pass protection game so that he can also contribute in 2023.
Yeah, those are all great names. I think Ivan Pace Jr., after hearing more about him, talking to Gabe Henderson about him because his friend coached him at Cincinnati, looking up Zach Thomas references and looking at how he played, smaller, 5'10", type linebacker. I don't think size matters. Agree with Reggie on the special team side of it. That's the name that's going to pop. One, Eric Kendricks is gone, so a sideline to sideline guy of that caliber. And remember the name Bart Scott. He was a UDFA with me. He ended up becoming one of the best linebackers in the NFL around that era and time. Got a really big contract from the New York Jets when he left the Ravens. So this is definitely a team that feels a little Raven-ish. Like you have pieces in place, but the pieces that are missing, you could definitely use some undrafted guys to come in and really make their mark. So I think Ivan Pace is a good name. I like Thayer Thomas. I like Thayer Thomas for the fact of the punt return game right now, in my opinion, is wide open. If you can find a cheaper punt return guy that could be your 5th receiver versus a guy like Jalen Reagor, you might have to pay a lot more money. Thayer Thomas was a really good punt returner in college at NC State. And he learned a lot from Joker Phillips, who was an NFL caliber head coach, receivers coach for the Browns, and spent some time in the NFL as well as a head coach in college football as well. So Thayer Thomas is a name to watch for in the slot because he said he picked the Minnesota Vikings because they were talking about how they can use him and how they can see him in this offense versus other teams that just said, hey, we really think you can compete for this punt return job. They did bring in Brandon Powell, but again, it doesn't matter. It's wide open when it comes to punt return. You won't see much of it besides who's most comfortable back there catching them, who looks like I don't have to worry that he's ever going to muff a punt. And that's where Thayer Thomas maybe can set himself apart. Like Sam said, been in college for a while, so definitely not immature. Definitely been around for a while, so has a little bit more maturity to him. And so those are the names that are going to jump out. I did like the Malik Knowles as well with the size. But at the end of the day, I like Jaren Hall. I think Jaren Hall maybe can show people like, hey, this is our true backup. Like the things he's going to do with his feet. Now, he doesn't have pads on. He's not making people miss. But I'm interested to see how Jaren Hall makes these throws, especially Jordan Addison, Malik Knowles, Thayer Thomas. We're going to see how Jaren Hall clicks with these guys. And Luke, you're dead on. Whichever one of those young guys clicks with Jaren Hall the most early will have the best preseason game because they're going to be in the games with him late in these games because he's for sure going to be kept on this roster as QB3, maybe QB2, but QB3 going to practice squad. And so the receivers that gel with him the most are the guys that are going to get the ball in these preseason games, like an Adam Thielen. Not to throw out another UDFA, but Adam Thielen was one as well. Special teams is where he started, and now we're going to play him with the Carolina Panthers. Well, I'm